and I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. So let me do that, and if I switch to the right screen, we were going to be talking about some bidding principles, three important guidelines to remember when you're bidding, and this is all about bids that are forcing or bids that are not forcing. So let's have a look at this, and sorry if I can get this going. Yes, okay. So so we're going to look at some three important guidelines. The first of these is that rebidding a previously bid suit, either your own or your partner's, at the lowest level shows a minimum hand. Now, a minimum hand, if you've opened the bidding, is 12 to 15, and if you're responding, a minimum hand is 6 to 9. So this is an example of a bid that shows a minimum hand. Opener's rebid here, it's gone one club, one heart. If you bid two hearts, you are bidding a previously bid suit at the lowest level, and you're showing, as well as four hearts, you're showing 12 to 15 points. Okay, do interrupt me if you have any questions about this. I hope this is fairly basic. Another example where you're bidding a previously bid suit at the lowest level could be here. One heart, one spade, two diamonds, two hearts. You are supporting your partner's first suit, and because you're bidding at the lowest level available, you're showing 6 to 9 points. You're basically saying that of the two suits that your partner has bid, hearts and diamonds, you have a preference for hearts, or perhaps you have equal preference. Ideally, you have three cards in the heart suit, although sometimes you might have to make this bid with only two, but that's what it shows. It shows a minimum hand. Or another bid that shows a minimum hand, which I think a lot of people get wrong here, is something like this: one heart, one spade, two diamonds, two spades. Here you're bidding your own suit at the lowest level, and you're also saying, I really don't like your two suits, partner, but I should have my own long suit, at least a 5 card, very often a 6 card suit, but not that many points, 6 to 9 points at the most. Okay, so that's a really important bidding principle. Here's another one. A new suit by responder is forcing unless one no trump has been bid previously. Very important principle. For example, if it goes one club and you bid one spade, well, first of all, that one spade bid is forcing. And then if your partner rebids two clubs and you bid another suit, your responder here, two hearts, a new suit by responder is forcing, and your partner cannot pass that, must find another bid. What would you expect? There isn't a poll on this, but what would you expect the responder's distribution to be bidding like this? How many spades and how many hearts do you think it shows?
5 and 4.
Yeah, presumably it's 5 spades and 4 hearts, at least 5 spades, at least 4 hearts. And it's requiring your partner to bid again. So maybe they'll be able to support your spades or your hearts, or rebid no trump, or rebid the clubs if they can't do anything else. But the important thing to realize is that 2 heart bid is a forcing bid. Here's another forcing bid: 1 diamond, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 hearts. That is a forcing bid too, a new suit by responder. And that is actually what's called fourth suit forcing. It's bidding the fourth suit. So that, as well as being forcing, does not promise a heart suit. Okay, it does not promise a real heart suit because it's the fourth suit, but it's also a forcing bid there. But if no trump has been bid, for example, like this, suppose it's gone 1 heart and responder has bid 1 no trump. Now that's showing 6 to 9 points. Now if opener bids 2 clubs, now if responder bids a new suit, 2 diamonds, that is no longer forcing, because you have limited your hand with that 1 no trump bid to 6 to 9 points. And you're basically saying, I've got a long diamond suit, I really don't like either of your suits, and normally that 2 diamond bid would be passed because, unless opener has a really strong hand, that 2 diamond bid would be passed because that's showing 6 to 9 points and a long diamond suit without any support for clubs or hearts. Do interrupt me if you have any comments on that. I hope that's familiar to most of you. And the third point I wanted to make was that a new suit at the lowest level by opener is not quite forcing unless you bid above the 2 level of the first suit. So let's look at what I mean by that. If opener bids 1 heart and the responder bids 1 spade, if you now bid a new suit, 2 clubs, that could be done with a minimum hand or a medium hand, and it is not forcing, not quite forcing. It could be as many as 18 points, so responders should try to bid again if they can, but with a dead minimum and a fit for clubs, they could pass that. Okay. On the other hand, if you bid the suits the other way round, 1 club, 1 spade, 2 hearts, you have now bid a suit above the 2 level of your first suit. In other words, because 2 hearts is above 2 clubs, that is a forcing bid and it is a reverse bid. In other words, if your partner wants to go back to your first suit, they'll have to be bidding at the 3 level here. And a reverse bid is considered forcing. So your partner must not pass that. So that's a forcing bid in contrast with the first one, which is not forcing. Anyone have any comments or questions on any of that? We're going to look at some examples of this in a minute. Do unmute yourselves if you have a question. Okay, so let's have a look at a few hands. Although first I want to refer you, all those of you who are not familiar with where to find it, on the website bridgeclass.co.uk, there's a link here to my own 2-page basic ACOL guide, and print out a new copy. And in particular, I want you to make sure you're familiar with this section here, openers rebid after responder bids a new suit. And this sort of talks about what I was just talking about. So if opener has a minimum hand, one of the options here, so for example, you bid 1 heart, your partner bids a spade, one of the options is to bid a new 4-card suit, but only if it's below the 2 level of the first suit. So that would be something like 2 clubs. Whereas the second example, for which you need a medium hand, would be bid a new 4-card suit, even if it's above the 2 level of the first suit, and that's a reverse. And if you have a really strong hand, then you either bid a new suit jumping a level, or you make a reverse bid. But either of those bids is a forcing bid, and your partner's not allowed to pass. So if you're having trouble with some of your bidding, I strongly recommend you really study. This section is really important, where it talks about, with a minimum hand, bid a previously bid suit, either your own or partner's, at the lowest level. So let's have a look at some examples of this. And here's a hand here where north your partner has opened 1 diamond, and let's suppose you bid 1 heart and your partner rebids 2 clubs. So it's sort of the worst possible news in a sense, in that you can see you seem to have a bit of a misfit here. And East passes, and I'm going to launch a poll in a moment to ask you, what do you think South should rebid here? So take a minute to think about your bid, and the poll is coming out now to ask you, what do you think South should rebid? Okay, I'm going to share the results with you now. And the results here is that 62% of you have gone for 2 hearts, 23% have gone for 2 spades, 8% went for 2 no trump, and 2 people, 8%, said pass. And let's go through those options. Well, let me just remove that from the screen. So you have a weak hand here with only 7 points. So you must find a bid that doesn't misdescribe your hand. Those of you who chose to bid 2 spades, that is not right here. 2 spades is a forcing bid. It's actually 4th suit forcing and shows more like 10 points. So that's not the right bid. 2 no trump similarly shows something like 10 to 12 points by responder. And again, you're far too weak for that. The right bid is 2 hearts here. You've got a 6-card heart suit, and you can show that you are weak with a long heart suit by rebidding 2 hearts here. The only other bid I might consider is passing. You could conceivably pass, but you only have 2 clubs, and your partner might only have 4 clubs. So you probably don't want to be in 2 clubs here, and you should rebid 2 hearts. Your partner should get the message that you are weak and hopefully will pass. And hopefully that will be the final contract. If we have a look at the north hand, dispose your opponent's lead a spade, you can see that you do indeed have a horrible misfit, and nonetheless, though, you don't want to get too high. And if you bid 2 hearts, your partner should probably pass. They might decide they really can't abide your hearts and bid 3 clubs, and then you would pass that. And 3 clubs isn't that bad, but 2 hearts is better. And 2 hearts can actually be made here. This hand was actually played a couple of years ago, and I kept a record of it because nearly everyone who played it got far too high. They ended up in contracts like 3 no trump, which went down badly. And the only makeable contract is really 2 hearts, or possibly a club contract is another possibility. So if you chose anything other than 2 hearts, do study the bidding sheet, because 2 spades and 2 no trump are definitely wrong answers here. Let me have any comments on that. We'll try another one now. And here you've got 13 points here. You've got a hand that's not balanced in the sense that it's got 2 doubletons. So you open 1 club on this hand. Your partner responds 1 spade. And I've got the second and final poll coming up for you now, which is what should South rebid here? So have a little think. Refer to your bidding sheet if you want to. And in a few seconds, I will launch the poll of what should South rebid here. Okay, we'll end the poll there. And I'm going to share the results. Actually, I'm doing this on the browser, so just wait for that to come up. And 56% went for 2 clubs and 44% went for 2 hearts. So roughly half of you are right and half of you are wrong. Well, if you look back at this bidding sheet that I referred to earlier, you'll see that opener here has a minimum hand, so should do one of the things here. Raise partner suit to the lowest level available with 4 card support. Can't do that. Bid a new 4-card suit if below the 2 level of the first suit. And here your second 4-card suit is hearts, and 2 hearts is not below the 2 level of clubs. So 2 hearts is not the correct bid here. If you had been a stronger hand with at least 16 points, or maybe 15, then you could bid a new 4-card suit, whether it's higher or lower than the first suit. So you can't do that. all you can do is rebid the original suit at the 2 level, and that shows at least 5 cards. So that's the correct answer on this hand. You should not bid 2 hearts. You should bid 2 clubs, and that may well end the auction. On this particular layout, 2 clubs is a makeable contract, and that's what you should be playing in, unless the opponents start bidding. Can you see that if you make the mistake of bidding 2 hearts, then your partner will either pass and let you play it in 2 hearts, and that would be a mistake because 2 hearts is a forcing bid, or more correctly, they should go back to clubs, but they would have to bid 3 clubs. And 3 clubs would go down 1 with correct defense. But 2 clubs is where you should end up on this hand, and you should not make a reverse bid. Those of you who chose 2 hearts, do try and study the bidding sheet and try and understand. We can rewatch this video, which I'll put on YouTube, and try and understand why 2 hearts is a wrong bid there. Anyone have any comments or thoughts on that?
Yes, Tony. If East did, Fiona here. If East
Yes.
did double,
Yes.
would West choose the better suit rather than? Yeah.
Yes. Actually, if I mean, I think many people on this hand may pass it in 2 clubs, but really East should not pass. East has got 11 points here, so he wasn't quite. He almost had enough to double then to show both red suits, hearts and diamonds. But if the bidding is about to end now in 2 clubs, East should not pass this. East should actually double now, and West now is going to bid his better of the 2 unbid suits, which is obviously diamonds, and that's where it might end, except the general rule, which we've been talking about recently with the law of total tricks, is that you shouldn't let the opponents play at the 2 level if you think you have a fit with your partner and they have a fit. So just as East shouldn't let them play in 2 clubs, North-South shouldn't let them play in 2 diamonds either. And probably North here should bid 3 clubs, and that might end up being the final auction. Now, as it turns out, with perfect defense and perfect play, 3 clubs will go down 1, but 2 diamonds would make just 8 tricks. Both sides can make exactly 8 tricks here. They can make 2 diamonds, while North-South can make 3 clubs. So this is sort of in line with the law of total tricks. Both sides have got an 8-card trump fit, and both sides can make 8 tricks. But you'd be better off if the opponents do bid 2 diamonds in bidding 3 clubs, because that will only be a penalty.
Tony, it's Tony, it's Lee here.
Yeah.
Just on the point that Fiona's raised there, were East to double, you've got 2 4-card suits. You're going by the quality of the suit when you respond to a double, not the rank.
I think West should I mean, here I don't think there's any question of it, because West has got 4 diamonds and only 2 hearts.
No, sorry. Yeah, sorry, but he's got 4 spades, hasn't he? Spades have already been bid, haven't they?
Spades have been bid.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, now I understand. Sorry. Thank you, Tony.
So it's just between the 2 suits.
Yeah, you're not going to bid spades because your opponents bid them. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's fine. And just to elaborate on that question that Lee said, if you had say equal length in when your partner doubles, you would always bid the major, because your partner will almost certainly
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But here you've got a strong preference for diamonds. But the 2 diamond bid is good, because you'll either make it or you'll force the opponents higher, and they'll be in 3 clubs. And if they do bid 3 clubs, then East-West have to sort of bite their tongues and not bid on, because 3 clubs should be defeated, whereas 3 diamonds would also be defeated. So you would collect a plus score by letting them play that. Any other comments on that? this hand, as I said, it can make 8 tricks in clubs. It can make 2 clubs. I just want to put up a slight variant of this hand where the hearts and the clubs have all been swapped over. Last show here, just wait for that to come up. If I change a hand here, so what I've done is I've just kept the hand the same but swapped over the hearts and the clubs. So now I open 1 heart, and then if my partner bids 1 spade, now I can bid my second suit. 2 clubs, because 2 clubs is below the 2 level of hearts, is below 2 hearts. So this bid doesn't show any extra. It can be done with a minimum hand, such as the hand I've got here, and I'm just showing 2 suits. I'm showing 5 in the first and 4 in the second. And if I bring up the 4 hands, if it's gone like this, 1 club, 1 heart, 2 clubs, what should North bid here? There isn't a poll, but you can tell me what you think North should bid. Unmute yourselves and tell me.
2 hearts.
Yeah, 2
Yeah,
hearts,
2 hearts.
definitely. You've got equal preference for the 2 suits, but your partner may well have more hearts than clubs. Also, heart scores better. So this hand is perfect for 2 hearts bid. It confirms that you're a minimum hand, 6 to 9 points, and that you have hopefully some kind of support for hearts, and that would end the auction, and you'd play it in 2 hearts, which should be made. It is possible to make 2 hearts here with normal play and normal defense. So you should just make 8 tricks there. Okay. So do study this section on reverses, I guess, but it is really a part of accurate bidding to not reverse, to notice to understand what a reverse is. I mean, many teachers say when they're teaching their beginners, they sort of look completely vacant and blank when they come to teaching what a reverse is, and it is a hard subject to get across, but it is really an important part of standard bidding, and you should definitely try to get on top of that. Anyone have any comments or questions on any of that?